It's an inner journey. A journey of life is not an outer journey. The journey of life is a inner journey. All the outer is meant for the inner. All my relationships, good, bad, ugly, I only invited them for my inner journey. இல்லம்மா நான் இந்த ஆள் கூப்பிடவே இல்லை, இப்போ கூப்பிடல. But before you came into the world, you made a deal with them in the higher planes that you both will come in the karmic bhumi and settle your accounts. The next 40 years you will be settling your accounts. And therefore, arriving into the world is about clearing your own karmic debts with the world, with the bhumi. It's about the souls that help you grow, lessons they teach, joys that bring. In they bringing illa enakku ella agony da kodupanga shari, because in giving you platform to experience agony, you will work harder to get out of the agony, and in the process you will grow. So actually I should thank him. Hey, thank you for giving me agony. நீங்க அவ்வளோ பேர் கொடுத்தீங்க இல்லையா, நன்றி. பட் இது போதும். lesson I learned. இப்போ you go your way, நான் என்னுடைய வெளியே போவேன். And so people are all here for a purpose. It's all in my purview, my vision, my range. Like the kaleidoscope, I have created this pattern, that pattern. Every pattern is beautiful. Every pattern has a combination, has different shades. But the seer is the one who orchestrates what he is going to see and how he is going to relate to these patterns, karmic patterns. So Bhagavan says here, that relationship that keeps you grounded to your inner journey, at the same time helps you live out your debts and karmic life. There is a balance. Either you can get caught in the karmic life, or you remain in your inner journey and play your script in the karmic debts. That skill, yogaha karmasu kaushala, samatvam yoga uchyate. By these definitions, Lord Krishna gives me very, very, such an insight about what's possible with karma, that I can remain in action and I'm not caught by the action. I can be the most dynamic person and the activity need not touch me at all. There is something there. To be there and not there. In action, in action. Puriyadha. In action, in action. So, karmani akarmaya pashet, akarmani cha karmayaha, sabuddhiman manusyeshu sayuktaha, Krishna karma krit. These are all statements of tremendous, beautifully expounded karma yoga in the 3rd chapter. In fact, 2nd chapter introduces the concepts. Every aspect is introduced in the 2nd chapter. 2nd chapter is the Sara, and then from chapter 3, Bhagavad Gita dilates each topic. The different realms and aspects of an attitude. 3rd chapter elaborates on Karma Yoga. 4th chapter again comes back to Sankhya Yoga. Like this you find there is movement chapter to chapter in the Gita. So now Lord Krishna, having championed for Karma Yoga versus Karma, there is this attitude. And what is that attitude? Karma Yoga is not action. Karma yoga is a attitude. Modern new age understanding is, I am going to do karma yoga. You see this in ashrams all the time. Karma yoga. What are you doing karma yoga? The fellow, how long do you do karma yoga? 1 hour. 1:30 to 2:30. Are you 1:30 to 2:30 karma yoga? What is this special 1 hour karma yoga? No, I clean the grounds, ashram grounds. நிறைய குப்பை இருக்கீங்க அங்கே 1 hour every day I do karma yoga. I thought that is a sweeper's work. No, mine is karma yoga. Why? Because I don't charge money. She charges money. So this is called free service. Free service is karma yoga. அப்படியா? அதுக்கு அவ்வளோ பெரிய introduction வேணுமா? Do we need such an elaborate introduction and philosophy and metaphysical studies and whatnot, realities, to introduce a free service? He could have easily said free service, karma yoga, take on. You don't need all this. It's not free service for an ashram or an institution. It is an attitude towards life. It's an attitude towards your work as a man of action. It's an attitude, and therefore, if you're doing something, you have an attitude. What is that attitude? That is karma yoga. Either it's there all the time or it's not there any time. It is not time bound. It is understanding bound. And therefore, if you're awakened to an understanding, you don't move away from an attitude. If you have an understanding of something, you never move away from that attitude. For example, and the kuppe irukku illaya, the garbage can. So everybody puts garbage there. I am a diabetic patient. Doctor has told me don't even look at a sweet. Because if you look now, your things begin to churn inside. 3 months I did well. 4th month now it was so much. And laddus, is like, really, it's criminal not for me to have laddu around and not take it. It's really criminal on anybody's part. And these criminals had an evening dinner and they had laddus. And they all ganged up and nobody gave me. And if they'd given me, they would have finished the laddus. Extra was there, and the worst thing they could have done in front of my eyes, they went and put it in this garbage can. Balance, waste. I could have had heart attack seeing that. It's such a wrong action. So now what? I have not had the laddu. I crave, I long, I've been dreaming. And when box has gone in there, whole box, 20 of them. Let me go, grab it and clean it up. Will I? Will I? Will I? If my understanding that this is a garbage can, my understanding of hygiene, my value for hygiene is clear, then you can put anything in that garbage. Something I love so much, I will not even think twice. Ilya, you period sacrifice. Sacrifice illa. This is the power of understanding. The power of understanding makes you give up that which is to be given up. That which is useless. Because I've understood that outside this is okay, but in there it is not worth it. I know that. I have a value for the value of hygiene. And therefore it overrides my desire for laddu. Now you understand, Tyaga na enna? Tyaga. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. Tyagam na, when I can say to sense pleasures, hey, this is all garbage. What I want, this is not going to deliver. Why am I wasting time? If I can have a clear understanding and my activities align to my understanding, then what? Karma yoga attitude I have in mind. Karmata's attitude towards karma is, I work for results. I am pragmatic. If I invest money in this business, I expect this return. I work for my returns. And nobody dare block me in achieving my returns. And therefore, competitive society, world, I work hard, I bring people in. We make deals. What deals? My goal is that money. Your goal is also money? Okay. Then I am ahead of you, I am the owner. You are joining me and therefore I pay you for your talent. And I am the brain behind this and therefore I get the chunk of it. And so we have a system in our society, which is goal-driven, which is result-driven, which is productivity-driven, which is possession-driven, which is popularity-driven. It is called the 3P system of the universe. Production, possessions and popularity. What is Karma Yoga? Where these three are not the driving factor for karma. Neither productivity is a driving factor, nor possessions is a driving factor, nor popularity is a driving factor for you to do karma. Ayyo, then edukku karma? Then why will you do all this? Why will you work hard if you don't want any of these three? That is the rahasya. The rahasyam is what drives me to do karma is not material ends. Then what? What drives me to do karma is my journey in purification. My journey in the physicality to rise above physicality. I am in the physical. I am a spiritual being in the physical universe. Ipo, I recognize I am a spiritual being, but I don't own it, my eternal nature, my higher nature. So what should I do? Live your life, doing what script is in front of you, but you don't sit in a delusion that this 3P system is going to bring you moksha, happiness, peace, joy. No. You're not in that trap. This is karma. And therefore, then what drives you? What drives me is, I am rina baddha. And therefore, I keep taking from the universe. My model is, I live in gratitude, in being a gift to the universe, being a light of the universe, giving gratitude to what I have taken. I am more a contributor than a consumer. That is my philosophy. As a human being, I am the highest contributor in this universe. That's a model. It's a spiritual ecology. It's a spiritual economics. It's a spiritual, what do you call, everything, finance, everything is spiritual. Means I am a contributor, not a consumer. Today, world is reeling from depletion of resources. Why? Because human civilization bought the ideology that we are consumers and not contributors. We are consumers. Come on. Consumers. Consume. Take. Everything for, it's a human-centric world. It's an egocentric world. It is not life-centric world. In consumerism, it's not life-centric, mind you. It is egocentric, human-centric, I-centric. Chicken is meant for me to consume. Crab is there for me to consume. Anything that crawls is for me to consume. Anything that flies is for me to consume. Anything that swims is for me to consume. This is called I am the consumer. The world is meant for me to consume. Understand? And therefore, the outlook in that ideology becomes one of how much I have consumed. You consume only that much, I consume bigger than you. The spiritual principles, spiritual ecology, the Gita philosophy is Paityam. You are not a consumer. You are the highest contributor because your consciousness is the most exalted. Phalanti vrikshani. The tree needs one seed for its propagation, but it gives hundreds of fruits. Why? Paropakara. The river keeps flowing eternally, endlessly. Doesn't get tired of generating energy. We generate 8-hour energy, we need 20 hours to sleep, to regenerate energy. The river doesn't stop, keeps on flowing. For what? Paropakara. The cow needs to give milk only for one calf. Everywhere, no. But she produces 7-8 liters. For who? Paropakara. So when lower life forms live their karma in harmony with the nature, Paropakaraya, then me, the exalted consciousness, the highest consciousness life form on earth, what is my contribution to the harmony? Paropakaraya idam shariram. It is for Paropakara. This is the philosophy, this is the ideology, this is the civilizational consciousness of India, of this land, of its people, of its culture. Paropakara, 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 Paropakara. Ancient civilizations, Chinese culture, American Indian culture. You look at all cultures, they were always a culture given to gratitude. Paropakara, gratitude. Paropakara. The family matter, others matter. In mattering for them, I matter. I am the one who matters for them most. Funny English I have here. I am the one who cares for them most, therefore I am most important. Because I care for them, therefore I am important. If I care for me, I become unimportant. This is called the Paropakaraya, the contributed philosophy of a land, of a civilization, and that is called Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. How do I become a Karma Yogi? He says, catch some basic attitude. Number one, understand what? Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhuhu path